Hey everyone, Zoe from JAZ Trading here. With the introduction of tassels to our range, I thought it was a good opportunity to put together a little instructional video for you, for those of you who may not have used pre-cut tissue or metallic tassels before. They come in a pack of 16, the tissue do. I've got a pack here, which I have opened up. And there's just a few little tricks to putting them together. Anyone can do it, it's not difficult, but I thought a little video might come in handy. So let's get to it. Okay, so when we take them out of the packet, we're going to separate them just in half. So find the fold in the middle of the tassels and lay them out flat on your workbench. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to separate the bottoms. So when you get them, one side I've cut already, but this side here is still joined together. So the paper sits nice and flat in the packet. And so when it gets to you, it's not all crinkled and crumpled. So what I'd like to do is I like to take a pair of scissors and just cut a nice straight line along that bottom edge. So what we're doing is we're just cutting about the 3 or 4 millimeters of the tissue off the bottom. And what that does is stops the little jagged sort of tear edges from happening if you were to separate those without cutting them. And so one side you'll see here is complete, and we have this beautiful fringe that's now being created for our tassels. So what we'll do is lay them out flat again. I just wanted to show you, and we'll cut along the bottom of the second side, nice and straight. And that will just give us a really nice straight finish on the bottom of our tassels. So now that we've got the tassel nice and flat and we've cut the edges off, we've separated it from the other 15 that are there, we're actually going to just fold along the middle. So I do the measurement of about 1 centimetre, and you just simply fold. Don't have to swap sides or go back and forwards, you just fold over the top of itself, over and over until you get to the end. And I just like to make sure that very gently we're not getting too tangled on the edges or on the fringe as we go along. And so then as we get to the end, we can then pick up our tassel and just really gently shake out and brush almost, if you like, the fringe at the end. Then what we do is we have about, once we fold it in half, we have about 1 inch of this middle piece left, which I actually really like these tassels, particularly because the straight part that actually joins around the string to make the garland is a lot shorter than some of the other tassels that are 3 inches long with this straight piece here. So yeah, I just find that you end up with a nicer effect because you have more fringe to the ratio of the neck. Okay, so now that we've created the neck of our tassel, I actually like to get a balloon stick or a balloon straw and put that in the fold of our neck. And I just find that that's a great, it sort of holds it as we twist the rest of the neck, and it also creates the loop that we're looking for. So I actually be careful of where the fold is for the last piece of the tassel that you folded in, but I actually like to just give this all a little bit of a squish, a nice squish, not a scrunching up the rubbish squish, and fold the balloon straw in to the fold halfway point, and then give the tassel, the neck of the tassel, a nice little twist. And then you can just remove the straw, and you'll see here that we've got a lovely little clean hole through the middle of the neck of the tassel. And so then if we give it all a bit of a shake, then we're good to go on to the next step. So for this particular design, I've decided I'm going to use 4 tassels, And so I've gone ahead and pre-made my 4 tassels. Here we are. And so now we're going to attach them to some curling ribbon. Now you can attach them to string, monofilament, whatever it is that you think is going to best suit your design at the time. I've decided I'm going to use curling ribbon just because I'm going to also attach another couple of accents to our 3-foot balloon. And it's also easy for you to see when I'm demonstrating here how I attach them to make a garland. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the first one, threading the curling ribbon through the loop that we've created, leaving enough to be able to work with when I'm attaching it to the neck of the balloon. And then all I do is, it's a very long end at the moment because I wanted to make sure that I've got enough to work with. I'm not sure how high I want this balloon to sit at this point once I attach it to the weight, so I've got plenty of spare. And so what I do is I just insert the other end into the top of the loop, and so that we've created on the tassel. And so then what we're doing is, instead of tying a knot, which I actually find sort of makes the tassel sit kind of a bit skewiff or off center, what we're doing is we're just creating a loop, and the tension from the pull of the balloon is enough to actually hold the tassel in place without even worrying about tying a knot. So some people actually tape around the neck of the tassel as well. I don't think it's 100% necessary, but go ahead and do it with some clear tape if you would prefer. So once you've doubled that loop over in the tassel, and we have some tension from the balloon pulling at the top and the weight down the bottom, that tassel is actually going to stay exactly where it is. So I'll show you a close-up of the next one so that you can see how I loop it through the neck of the tassel. So here's a close-up for you of us adding the next tassel onto our garland. So as I said before, I've just taken the long end of my curling ribbon and I'm going to pass that through the neck of the tassel that I created, and we're just going to move the tassel to the position where we would like it to be. Now, as a guide, these tassels I actually like to hang the next neck about halfway down the body of, or the fringe of, the previous tassel. So once I zoom out, I'll show you that again when I add the next one, but I've got that now in the position that I'm after. And so now I've put the curling ribbon through the loop once. So I take the end of my curling ribbon and I just place it back through the neck again, which I probably just covered with my fingers, and pull that all the way through, which creates a loop. And as explained before, the tension from the top and the bottom actually holds the tassel in place. So here's 3 of the tassels that we created using our looping method. You can see that if we hang them out this way, they're all reasonably evenly spaced apart. The other reason I like to use this loop method is that this one here in particular in the middle, I found wasn't positioned where I wanted it to be, halfway down the tassel, down the fringe of the tassel above it. And so it's easy to just loosen that loop, slide it along, and then pull that loop a little tight again. And so now when we hang them from the top, they're all beautifully positioned and spaced against each other in a nice staggering effect. So I was originally going to use 4, I've decided I'm going to use 3. I'm going to go ahead now and inflate my 90 centimetre or 3-foot Fashion Agate Balloon, and then I'm going to come back and show you the finished product. So I've gone ahead and this is our finished product. So I've used this amazing 3-foot Fashion Agate Balloon from Qualatex, which is new, and first time I've actually inflated it, and it's just beautiful. And I've used our tassels that we've created. So when we finished off, I said I was going to use 3, but when I put the composition and design together and looked at the elements of design, when I stood back, I realized that it really needed that 4th tassel down the bottom, so I went ahead and attached that onto our curling ribbon. I've also added what we like to call our balloon charm, and I've used a beautiful gold J for JAZ, obviously. Sorry, rose gold J, and that's the very handy North Star self-sealing 41 centimeter letter balloon in rose gold, and some of our beautiful purple holographic curling ribbon that we have in stock, and of course our tassels that we created and made ourselves. So I'll give you a little close-up of some of the finer details, and if you have any questions at all, please either comment below or send me an email to zoe@jaztrading.com. I hope you've enjoyed the tassel tutorial, and I also hope you've enjoyed seeing this lovely design. So until next time, happy ballooning!